www.facebook.com. This is my Facebook page, www.facebook.com, and /UPSC paper. This is a Twitter handle, UPSC paper @UPSC paper. आज का जो टॉपिक है वो यूपीएससी सिविल सर्विस के एलिजिबिलिटी के बारे में, कौन कौन एलिजिबल है इस एग्ज़ाम के लिए। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, इससे पहले मैं आपको कुछ बताना चाहता हूँ कि जो मैंने लास्ट वीडियो अपलोड किया था यूपीएससी सिविल सर्विस सिलेबस के बारे में, उसे बाय मिस्टेकली भी मिसप्रिंट हो गया था, जो कि एक मिनट में आपको दिखाता हूँ। इस यूपीएससी सिविल सर्विस सिलेबस के बारे में, जिसका मेंस का जो क्वालिफिकेशन पेपर था, एक्चुअली यहाँ पे 250 मार्क्स का मैंने मिसप्रिंट कर दिया था। यहाँ पे 300 मार्क्स के आते हैं। ये इंग्लिश और इंडियन लैंग्वेज दोनों भी 300 मार्क्स के हैं। तो मैं आपको बताना चाहता था कि 250 मार्क्स नहीं, 300 मार्क्स यहाँ पे कैलकुलेट करेंगे तो भी आपको ये 300 मार्क्स मिलेंगे। इंग्लिश एंड एनी अदर इंडियन लैंग्वेज दोनों भी 300 मार्क्स के आते हैं। ओके, अब आता है एलिजिबिलिटी के बारे में कि हु इज़ एलिजिबल फॉर यूपीएससी एग्ज़ाम। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, the UPSC Commission generally takes the verification of eligibility condition with reference to the original documents only after the candidate has qualified for the interview and personality test। यानी जब भी आप इंटरव्यू के लिए जाते हैं तभी आपको यूपीएससी जो आपका ओरिजिनल डॉक्यूमेंट चेक करती है। अगर जिस उनके एलिजिबल के हिसाब से आप अगर क्वालिफाइड हैं तो फिर आपको वो आगे इंटरव्यू और टेस्ट, पर्सनैलिटी टेस्ट जो भी है वो लेंगे। अगर आप वहाँ पर एलिजिबल नहीं थे फिर भी आपने एग्ज़ाम दिया तो आपका इंटरव्यू नहीं लेंगे। इसमें जो सबसे पहला नेशनलिटी फॉर द इंडियन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सर्विस एंड इंडियन पुलिस सर्विस, आईपीएस, आईएएस, आईपीएस एंड फॉर इवन आईएफएस ऑल्सो अ सिटीजन ऑफ a candidate must be a citizen of India, okay, or a subject of Nepal or the subject of Bhutan. I mean for the IAS, IPS and IFS, the candidate must be a citizen of India. Okay, candidate must be a citizen of India. And for the other service, a candidate must be a citizen of India or Nepal or Bhutan. A Tibetan refugee also who came over the India before 1st January 1962 with the intention of permanently settling in India, or a person of Indian origin who has migrated from Pakistan, Burma, Sri Lanka, East Africa countries of Kenya, Uganda, the United Republic of Tanzania, Zambia, Malawi, Zaire, Ethiopia and Vietnam, with the intention of permanently settling in India. Whoever want to settle permanently in India, they are qualified for exam, provided that a candidate belonging to a categories B, C, D and E, B, C, D and E shall be person in whose favor a certificate of eligibility has been issued by the Government of India. They are only eligible after a certificate of eligibility has been issued by a Government of India. If the Government of India issued they are the citizen of India, then only they are eligible, other not, or else not. Provided further that candidate belonging to a category B, C, D above will not be eligible for appointment in the Indian Foreign Service. A candidate whose case a certificate of eligibility is necessary may be admitted to the examination, but the offer of appointment may be given only after the necessary eligibility certificate has been issued him or her by the Government of India. Now, age limit. A candidate must have attained the age of 21 years and must not have been attended the age of 32 years on the first August of the examination. It means the minimum age is required 21 years and the maximum is 32 years for open caste. Okay, there is some relaxation for other castes like 5 years maximum if the candidate belongs to SC or ST. It means 37 age. 3 years maximum if the candidate belongs to OBC, 35 year maximum 37, here 35, and 5-year maximum if a candidate had ordinarily been domiciled in the state of Jammu and Kashmir during the period of 1st January 1982 to 31st December 1989. It's again 37 if the They are domiciled for Jammu and Kashmir. 3-year maximum in the case of defense service. If they are belonging to defense service, 3-year maximums. 5-year maximums in the case of ex-servicemen, including commissioned officer and ECOs, SSCOs, who have rendered at least 5-year military service on 1st August of the year examination and have been released. Okay. 5-year maximum in the case of ECOs and SSCOs who have completed an initial period of assignment of 5 years military service, and 10 years maximum if the candidate are blind, deaf, mute and orthopedically handicapped person. Note, candidate belonging to the SC and ST and the other backward classes who are also covered under any of the clause A to G mentioned, state of J&K, blind, deaf, mute or orthopedically handicapped etc., will be eligible for grant of cumulative age relaxation under both the category. It means जो भी कैंडिडेट्स हैं ए से लेके जी तक के क्लॉज में अगर आते हैं वो, तो ये एज रिलैक्सेशन के लिए ग्रांटेड है, एलिजिबल है. ओके. Now here, the provision of age relaxation under clause G above of physically disabled candidate will be considered to be eligible for appointment only if or she, after such physical examination as the government or appointing authority, as the case may be prescribed, is found to satisfy the requirement of physical and medical standard of the concerned service post to be allocated to the physical disabled candidate by the government. यानी जो भी जी में है हैंडीकैप्ड, फिजिकली हैंडीकैप्ड में फिजिकली डिसेबल्ड हैं वो, दे आर एलिजिबल फॉर अपॉइंटमेंट ओनली इफ और आफ्टर सच फिजिकल एग्जामिनेशन as the government or appointing authority may prescribe, as the case may be prescribed. Minimum educational qualification needed. Candidates who have appeared at an examination the passing of which would render them educationally qualified for the commission examination but have not been informed of the result, as also the candidate who intended to appear at such qualifying examination will also be eligible for admission to the preliminary examination. It means you minimum qualification you need graduation, and candidate who have appeared an examination the passing of which would render them educationally qualified for the commission. यानी कि आपने अभी एग्ज़ाम दिया है कोई ग्रेजुएशन का और आपका भी रिजल्ट आना बाकी अवेटिंग है, लेकिन आपका प्रीलिमिनरी एग्ज़ाम आप दे सकते हैं, लेकिन बट मेंस से पहले आपका रिजल्ट आ जाना चाहिए उसका और वो क्लियर होना चाहिए. आगे भी सच कंडीशंस हैं, पॉज करके आप पढ़ सकते हैं. नंबर ऑफ अटेम्प्ट्स. So here open caste can attempt 6 at open caste can every candidate appearing at the examination who is otherwise eligible shall be permitted 6 attempts, open caste 6 attempts for open caste, and there is relaxations for SC and ST. The number of attempts permissible to the candidate belonging to the other backward classes is 9. The relaxation will be available to the candidates who are eligible to have a reservation applicable to such candidates. Okay. Here you should note that an attempt at a preliminary examination shall be deemed to be an attempt at the examination if a candidate actually appears in any one paper in the preliminary examination, he or she shall be deemed to have made an attempt examination. यानी कि आप अगर प्रीलिमिनरी एग्ज़ाम अटेंड करते हैं और अगर आप मेंस के लिए क्वालिफाई होते हैं फिर भी आप मेंस से अटेंड नहीं करते, तो ये यूपीएससी कंसिडर करेगा कि आपने एक अटेम्प्ट किया है, एक अटेम्प्ट आपका लॉस होगा. अगर आप एक प्रीलिमिनरी एग्ज़ाम में एक पेपर ही अटेम्प्ट कर लेते तो भी आपका अटेम्प्ट काउंटिंग होगा. Physical fitness. Candidate must be physically fit according to the physical standard for admission to civil service examination of a particular year, as per guidelines given in the rules of examination published in the Gazette of Indian Extraordinary during the year of examination. Okay. Now birth proof. Birth proof. The date of birth accepted by the commission is date entered in the matriculation or secondary school certificate in a certificate recognized by the Indian University as equivalent to matriculation, or an extract from register of matriculates maintained by the university only. No other here. No other documents relating to the age like horoscope, affidavits, birth extract from the municipal corporation service records and like will be accepted. Only the matriculation or secondary examination certificate accepted. Some restriction on applying for the examination, like a candidate who is appointed to the IAS, Indian Administrative Service, or the Indian Foreign Service on the result of an earlier examination and continues to be a member of that service will not be eligible to compete at this exam. In case a candidate is appointed at IAS, IFS after the preliminary examination of the civil service of that year is over and he or she continues to be a member of that service, he or she shall not be eligible to appear in the civil service mains. ओके यानी अगर आप एक बार आईएएस या आईएफएस की अगर आपने एग्ज़ाम दिया यूपीएससी के और आप पास हो गए और आईएएस या आईएफएस बनते हैं तो आप नेक्स्ट टाइम से यूपीएससी के एग्ज़ाम के लिए एलिजिबल नहीं होंगे, आपको रिस्ट्रिक्ट कर दिया जाता है. ओके so that's it for eligibility. Kindly share it as you can and subscribe. Thank you very much. If any question, please comment me.